Thank you for joining Kristy and I once again as we discuss the parts of life we find challenging. This time we chatted about the challenges of reinventing ourselves. Let's get started.
Hi, we're back. I'm Michelle.
And I'm Kristy.
We're here to share life and all the fun ups and downs that we come across with everybody.
Yeah, and the side to sides. The absolute chaos of life and the peace that we're trying to find.
Yep, definitely peace. Which, have you found any?
Oh, so have you?
No.
Yes.
So
no? Okay.
Because, peace sometimes can be elusive.
So let me rephrase that. This morning,
Yeah.
I found about a minute of peace every day because we got a puppy and she's 7 months old. No, you know about her.
Oh.
She just looked at me like, oh my God, you got another one?
Yeah.
And she is like 160-ish pounds and she likes to chase the neighbors now. So I have to walk her on a leash. However, I did it barefoot and I put my feet on the grass and the sun was shining.
Oh.
And so I just took a minute and I stared straight at that sun and I was like, okay, baby Jesus. Peace for my day. That's chaos coming ahead.
Is this an English Mastiff that weighs 160 pounds that took off running?
Oh yeah, chases my neighbors and scares the living crap out of them. So Mastiffs are supposed to be chill.
Yeah.
That's why I chose a Mastiff. We've had, this is our fourth.
Yeah.
And she's nuts. It's like her eyeballs are like popping out of her head and we're like, do we have a dog with a thyroid disorder or something? Like
she's not like Cujo.
No, she's not aggressive. She's just hyper.
Okay.
And she's gigantic. So she's jumping on you and whatever.
I have never heard of a hyper English Mastiff.
Uh-huh.
And yours is an English Mastiff.
Yeah.
English Mastiffs, just to put this into perspective, they're huge, but I was told that they're good apartment dogs.
Oh, yeah. They're supposed to be lazy and chill.
When I would take my English Mastiff for a walk, mid-walk, he would just decide that was it. And then we would bring a wagon and then have to put him in the wagon to bring him home.
That was the goal.
So,
yes.
Can you post a picture of Rosie for everybody?
I absolutely will. Her cuteness. I mean, she's amazing and her heart is gigantic. What are we talking about today?
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank everybody for joining us because we started off with 2 listeners and now we're
double digit.
No. No, I've actually had some fun comments that people are enjoying us talking about the topics that they're thinking about. I think that's kind of cool. You had mentioned reinventing ourselves.
Yeah, we were talking about what do we want to talk about this week and what would be impactful. You were sharing even your younger daughter was listening. So that made me excited that these messages that we're learning and going through are good for any age.
Yeah.
And then we were like, well, what about reinventing ourselves at any age?
Which we are with a podcast.
Yeah,
totally. We know nothing about technology.
No.
Nothing. Yeah, I know bits and pieces. I know enough to be dangerous. So if you guys are watching and going, why are they doing this? Or why haven't they done that? Please share your ideas with us because we really don't know what we're doing. We just feel good about it and thought to ourselves, if we overthought it, we would never do it.
Yeah. And once a week to get together and hang out and be with your friend and being able to talk about life is reinventing yourself.
Yeah.
Every day, every week, every minute is totally fine as an option. And this kind of holds us accountable to get to have that connection and give that to ourselves, which I'm excited about.
And what's the worst thing can happen? We're putting ourselves out there. If you yourself are going through something where you're like, I don't know, I just don't want to look stupid, or my kids are going to make fun of me, like our TikTok videos, then who cares? I mean, really, what's lost? Someone might say that was weird.
Didn't they like always say any intention is good intention or attention? Yeah. Any intention is good intention. So talk bad about us kids. That's great. We love our videos.
Yeah, that's right. And so if we're going to do this thing, we're either going to be successful together or we're going to.
There is really no other option.
Like, oh, so sorry that did not go well. And we both comfort each other.
And it's
that's who, but you don't necessarily need a partner to take chances in life. Whatever it is, just, I would say just jump all in.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I feel like I don't really have those kind of fears of trying new things or putting myself
No,
out
you
there.
don't.
I really didn't. I don't feel like I came that way. I'm just like really, I don't think about it like that. And I don't think about failure ever. It's not like in my DNA, but what is that I'm like, get that imposter syndrome. Like, who do you think you are to be able to tell people,
Right.
these things? Or like, I don't want anybody to think that I think I am better than anyone, because I know I am a hot mess, just like everyone else, but also, or they say beautiful disaster.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. I think that is what works for us, is that we both are very humble people.
Yeah.
I don't think we take ourselves seriously.
No.
Except in our promises.
I would agree with that.
I would say, if anything, we are diehard. If you say you're going to do it, do it. Don't leave someone hanging. And you never leave me hanging.
No, I don't think I could for anyone. Because I don't want it to happen to me.
So if you're going to try something, whatever it is, do not make promises you can't keep. And if you do, blow it, just make sure you're always ready for an apology.
Oh, yeah. Blow it. I mean, how many times have we blown it in life? Like a million.
Blow it.
Yeah, like I tried my best. I was just going to say I tried my best, but actually that doesn't go very well with that. So on that note, let's turn it to the positive of so much fun.
So there's going to be some editing.
The best, I think that needs to be in there. Any age is the best age to reinvent yourself. So when I was thinking about this, because we had like talked in advance about a topic, which we really haven't really done.
We're not good planners.
No, I am I'm going to Michelle's and we're going to talk about life and we're going to share it with you. I feel really passionate about that topic of like, every day is a new chance to be who you want to be, who you're striving to be, and as we get older, we're learning so much that the person we were before is still us, but we've really tweaked that. With Alana, she would always say, "You've never punished me, Mom. Like, I've never got in trouble even once, and I'm 28 years old. Like, I've gotten upset with her maybe twice. It's like I'm a marshmallow. I know this, And I forgot what we were talking about, and the fact that, as I'm getting more experienced and shaped and learning and growing, now it's like, for my youngest daughter, I hold her accountable all the time. I'm like, Kaya, like, no, absolutely,
Because you think it's kind.
And
because you set a boundary so that when you're not a marshmallow and let things fall as they may, that person then knows how to please you. Your child knows they want to feel like, wow, I did a good job today. But if there's no target.
Yes. And building self-esteem.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like I failed Alana in that in the beginning, being so young. I mean, I was 19 years old when I had her. So it was like learning and growing. And she was my little best friend.
Yeah.
I wasn't her. I mean, I was her mom, but you know what I mean? I was learning how to be a mom.
Exactly. Because that's the same age difference between me and my older daughter. It's 19 years.
Yeah. And you're learning and you're like, I just love this little person so much. I want to love them to the best of my ability. But then, like you said, there's no structure. There's no accomplishments. And so with Kaya, I'm completely different. Mm-hmm. Completely different. She knows what's expected of her. Also, she's a very different human than she's a firecracker and a half. But like, that doesn't mean I'm not the same person.
No.
I just have more tools and I've reinvented myself over and over.
I like that, what you just said. We are the same people. We just come with more tools. It's not that. It's just that I think that when we set boundaries, and it's not necessarily reinventing ourselves, it's like you said, tweaking, then people take us more seriously. If you come in a room and you're like, whatever, I don't care, then they're going to be like, are you here with me? Or, and you're giving someone permission over you.
I think I was very good at that before, of just letting everybody, yeah.
And then, but you didn't get resentful. I get resentful after a while. I'm like, why wasn't I called to the table on that one? Or why didn't they, I was complaining about that a little bit in the last episode, where I was like, as an older person, feel like I'm not valued. Well, equally, I also give up some of that power when I say, I don't care, do whatever you want. And then crab about it later.
Yeah. And me, I didn't realize what I was doing, I guess. Yeah.
Why would you?
Yeah. I just thought I was happy
Sometimes
and having
just want
fun.
to be good human beings.
Yeah. I went on a date one time. It was a long time ago now. Like 3 or 4 years ago. Yes. Tom, sorry. No, but I'm just kidding. He knows the story. And I was having a great time. It was so fun. I'm laughing. I'm my normal self. And the guy's like, we went on a second date, and he's like, oh, the impression I got was that you were stupid. And I was like, what? And he said, because you were laughing and you didn't really have any beliefs in anything, and you were just so happy and you didn't have any. And he was like, I just assumed like you had nothing to you. Oh. But that was good information, because it was like, I was just trying to be like,
that is 100% me. I have done that so many times.
And why? Like, why are we doing that? Are we in the moment? Are we being, do you know what I mean? Like, is that how we're supposed to be? Is free in ourselves and free to let everything flow, and that's a good thing? Or is that we're doing that to be liked?
Probably I'm careful because, again, when I go back to my childhood, I was never asked my opinion.
So you never freely give it?
I was valued as a quiet person without opinion. There was a lot of machismo in my family. So it just a quiet girl, because I strive to be beautiful and pretty. It was a type that I wanted to continue being attractive. I would just go in myself and be like, okay, whatever you like, and just, I think I was trained to be.
You are not like that anymore at all.
Oh, no.
No, and that's reinventing.
Again, well, the mustache.
Get out of here. I cannot talk about this darn mustache.
Our first sponsor should be like hair removal. So if anybody's interested from cosmetology, interested in us sponsoring us, that would be great.
Okay, that'll be.
I would do great. I make great commercials.
Every time you go to the nail salon and I get my eyebrows waxed, they're always like, is that it? As if there was more to wax. And I'm like, I don't have it. I didn't think I have hair anywhere else to wax. I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, do I have a mustache? Do I have hair on my face? Like, I don't see it. Do I have it?
You do not.
And they always ask me.
Yes. But anyways,
right.
That was sidetracked. But
so back to reinventing.
Yeah.
I think it takes a lot of courage, because we actually were talking about that this week, my kids and I, about how like our whole lives we're told we're something.
Yeah.
And that might not be who we really are. I just did it actually for my youngest daughter. I'm like, she's a wild woman. I'm telling her that she's a wild woman. Maybe she doesn't feel like she is.
Yeah. But you can also tell her not to believe everything she hears. It literally was a movement for my era, like it was children not to be seen and not to be heard, that was a good child. So it was a whole movement. I don't think anything that we're saying to our children always is going to be the catalyst to their low self-esteem. I think teaching them not to be able to, to repel what they're hearing is the problem. I was taught a good girl just complied and didn't ask questions, right? Well, I think our generation of kids are learning to have a voice and hear something. And if they don't like something, then to, let it roll off their back in most cases. In the 90s, the movement was, be careful what you say to your kids. Don't ever hurt their feelings. And I did that all the time. I'm like, my husband and I would staff and I would say, do you think I was too hard on her? What I should have been teaching especially my daughters, would be fixate on your goal. And if what you're hearing doesn't support your goal, blow it off. Who cares if someone doesn't like your hair? Who cares if they don't like how you're dressed? stay focused on your goal. Did it stop you? If it didn't stop you, keep moving.
I love that.
But, a lot of that generation, if something isn't perfectly said, their feelings get hurt and it stops them from their goal.
That's us. Our generation.
Our
Right?
generation. Well, my generation, I just didn't have goals. It was already laid out for me.
Oh, I see.
A woman wasn't pretty if she was coming into the conversation heavy-handed. She was, and still to this day, I think women are called bitches, and we do it to each other. Like, wow, that woman was just blah, blah, blah. She was very opinionated. No, well, maybe she had to come in strong because no one was listening to her, and she was not going to settle for anything except, someone listening. So yeah, I know it's kind of complicated.
It's a multi-layered. For sure.
Yeah, what do you think about with your daughter? Do you think that's what you're doing with your daughter, is more of the...
I hope I'm not anymore. I think I see how that when parents or all of us use things, or like even as a coach, like, this child is a struggle on the team.
Okay.
Or this child, she's just she's a quick picker up around choreography.
Okay.
She believes that now. So the next time she goes to choreography, she's like, put me in front. I'm the one that's good at this.
Yeah.
Coach Kristy has told me that.
No,
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
And words are really powerful. Like, if you think about your life, what are the words you remember?
Right.
I mean, I can clearly hear, and I have a great dad, but my dad would say, shut your fat mouth. And in my head, I will never forget that. And I literally thought I was fat.
Oh.
And I thought that was like the meanest thing to ever say in the world. And that's like the meanest thing he ever said to me my whole life. And I'm still can't let go of it. And I'm almost 50.
But do you blame him for that?
No.
It was more of like how you were perceiving what was being said. Because really in life, and if we're talking about reinvention, there could be a bunch of people out there telling us we're ridiculous for doing this, and how attention seeking, or all the things that a person who might not be taking chances in their life might be judging us. I call them the peanut gallery. And then we say to ourselves, we better stop this because people are saying this about us. Or we could take that feedback and be like, let's shape this a little bit differently.
Yeah. Or be like,
who cares?
No. Like, yeah. I think because us reinventing ourselves over and over is helping others know it's okay. Even if, as a person that is really guarded and afraid to grow is going to judge those that are growing because they feel bad that they're not.
We are mirroring back what feels bad in them.
Yes.
So we're talking about then resilience. We have to be resilient to reinvent ourselves, or to think of ourselves in a different way.
And being open to it. And even just curious. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then those people that are struggling with that usually come around. And those are the people later that have the stories of like, I used to think you were crazy. Hula is a perfect example for me. I started taking a Polynesian class and I'm dancing, and my kids are like, I don't know why you're doing that. Like, you're so embarrassing. Oh my God, you're so bad at that. Or they would like be moving their hips and they'd be like, look how bad mom is compared to me. Like, just because they don't realize what they're doing, And then friends would be like, wow, I wish I had time for that. And you're like, dude, I don't have time for this.
I said that to you too.
Yeah. And you're like, it's okay. And I kept doing it and I kept doing it. And then it turned into something. And now, do you know what people say? All of those same people are like, do you want to go watch my mom's show on Thursday? Aww. Or do you, and my friends would be like, oh my gosh, I love that. I want to take a dance class. Or like, I'm so proud that you were willing to be uncomfortable to do that.
100%.
So if I would have listened and I stopped because I felt stupid.
So what, especially with it being, isn't it National Women's Month or whatever?
Yeah, something like that.
It's not that we're pro women. It just happens to be that we're talking about this.
And we are women. That's
like, as we're doing this, we're discovering, like in the beginning, so many things that we do not have in common, but so many things we do have in common that bring us together is the ability to have 10 people tell us something is dumb or stupid, or that we're crazy. Yes, I've heard that many times. Still sticking to what we believe in because it's something innate and it's something that is important to us. We don't care. We're just going to go do it. until
Yeah.
it's done, because
It-
that's what we promised ourselves.
Yeah. And it still affects us.
And
It'll still affect everyone. Yeah, you'll feel it.
So it's so weird that at the beginning of this, you had talked about, maybe worrying about what you say to your kids as being, or the kids in the gym,
yeah,
as
anywhere.
being stoppers. But instead of worrying about what you say to children, which we all should, I'm not telling you to go say awful things. I'm just saying we're the type of people that are so empathetic. We're always worrying that what we're saying might be coming out the wrong way. We should be training children to be resilient and to be able to here's something that is unkind, or maybe something that doesn't align with how they, what their plans are, but still keep to what their goals are. Still
filter it yeah,
and train them to have a safe place to go talk about those things so that it doesn't fester inside of them. Because we have a safe place where we could talk about those things, and then I can get validated through you and be like, do you think, is this okay? And you're like, Michelle, go for it.
yeah.
She's my cheerleader. And I have a few of those in my life that just keep going, Michelle. So train your children or the people that you're mentoring, or even yourself, to find that mentor that will help validate what you want to do.
I love that. And even as like a coach, thinking about when I say something, I always follow it up with like that, with something like that. I didn't realize I'd do that. Like, I really need you, you're a very strong cheerleader. I really need you to start paying attention because, you're whatever.
Right.
And then I always finish it with like something like, let's go.
Yeah.
You're a great cheerleader. Come on. Come
Right.
with me. I'm not upset with you. Like, I really want the best for you. And I know you can do this. And it's like giving them that not harsh, but that correction or that way to grow and the love.
Right.
So we all kind of need to do that for each other, or noticing when other people are trying to stop other people that are trying to reinvent themselves and being like, well, I love that.
Something that sticks out in my mind to this day that taught me the biggest lesson about resilience was from my son, who played travel baseball. Your son does too. My son admittedly would tell you that he is not the absolute best baseball player. What he was the absolute best was being what's they call where they play all the positions you could fill in.
I don't know what they call it, but like utility player.
A utility player. Everybody relied on him to be the utility player. So if the pitcher was sick, he would fill in. I was listening to him be berated by the coach, and as he got off, because I was very careful not to say anything in front of my son, in front of the coaches. Waited till he got to the car, and I said, honey, do you need me to step in and say something to the coach? That was pretty rough. And he said, Mom, how would I be a better player?
Oh,
he corrected me, and I was like, okay. And then the other thing about baseball, and I know, again, watching your son and your daughter play, there's nothing like being the last hitter up, and that point depends on whether you hit that ball or not. And then you fail and your team loses, and then you have to, or you miss that ball and your team loses. But those kids get back up and do it the next day. And I don't know how they do that when everybody was so down on them and they were so down on themselves, but they picked up and they got.
Yeah, or the pitcher, and you hit the batter and you lose the game because you hit him and it's like 100% your fault at that minute.
Those things are what teaches resilience. I learned so much of, even though I was that airheaded baseball mom, who would clap for both sides and everybody got mad at me.
Yeah,
I did gain something from it. And I learned so much from my son.
Yeah.
He was only 13 years old. So he taught me some of the most important lessons and not that I'm a baseball mom or anything, or I love watching baseball, but I love what I learned from that.
I feel like this today is more about resilience and resilience training than reinventing ourselves. And I'm so grateful for that message, because we have such powerful roles in children's lives. Like, we have a lot of children in our lives, which is huge and amazing. I'm going to use that for my staff. Like, we're resilient trainers.
There you go. Teaching resilience.
Because I'm always like, we're a positive advocate, just positivity, like build these kids up. But in reality, we're more resilience trainers.
Right.
In a positive environment.
Yeah.
I love that.
Take that comment and, let it roll right off of you if it doesn't align with your goal. So that's what we talked about today. Please follow us on Facebook. please.
Instagram. I started it.
Instagram.
We got our Instagram going.
TikTok. What else?
Dance
Anything
moves.
else?
TikTok for now.
Yeah.
You did start an email address if people wanted to reach out.
Yep. So we're getting there slowly but surely. So we appreciate any time that you give us, whether it's watching a video or liking us. Have a great week.
Yep.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please follow and like Glow and Flow with Kristy ABD Michelle on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Thank you.